אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, שבת אחים גם יחד, שבת אחים גם יחד.
How good and pleasant it is that we are all together, so that I can tell you a little story before we start. In a small town, there once lived a rabbi, wise and spiritual, but completely detached from material world. He wore the same patched-up jacket, likely inherited from his father, and old galoshes with holes in them. One day, a wealthy man, out of goodness of his heart, decided to give this rabbi a generous donation. Within a few days, the wealthy man noticed, much to his surprise, that his own fortunes had dramatically improved, earning double the profits he had before. The wealthy man thought, if helping this poor and ragged rabbi brought me such a reward, what would happen if I found the richest rabbi in the country and gave him a generous donation? He made inquiries, traveled to a distant city, and did as it was planned. However, upon returning home, he was shocked to find that he had gone bankrupt and lost everything he had. When you give without considering who deserves you help, heaven does too not question whether you deserve blessing. But when you start to scrutinize who is worthy, heaven might also ask, and who is this clever person here? The sun is almost set. It is nearly the 21st of Tammuz in the year 5784 in the Jewish calendar, and we are welcoming Shabbat Pinchas. And now I invite the Bat Mitzvah family with the Bat Mitzvah, Noah, Jackie, and Bron, to light Shabbat candles for us and recite a blessing. While you are reciting, I will give you the thing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Yes, they are lit. Done perfectly. It may not seem so, but they are lit. That's years, at least a year of practice. With this, we begin our evening service on the page 130 with our favorite Psalm 95, Lechu neranena, come, let us sing joyously to God. And it is important to note that singing is one of the ways to get closer to God, to get our souls out of its box. And when we are together, our voices sound much more powerful and can reach the heavens with all our thanks, with all our pleadings, with all our needs.
Adonai.
let us bow down and kneel, bend the knee before God, our Maker. For the Eternal One is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. Hayom im bakolo tishma'u. We continue with Psalm 96 on the page 131. It also talks about song, about singing. Sing to God a new song. Sing to God all the earth. Let's sing together. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. Let's recite in the bottom of the next page in English. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder. The fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of the Eternal One. For God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples in faithfulness. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו. We continue with another psalm with a beautiful melody. And as we know, for the beautiful moments, if there was a melody once, if you've met your love in a cafe, you will probably remember this melody that was playing in that cafe, however far from this present moment it was. Because when we have a special connection, then we remember best, and it is proved by the neuroscientists. They exactly know. And talking about our Jewish history, we also had these moments when it was all the senses of ours were sensing the presence of God. And in these moments, we usually remember, even if we were not born, we could remember moments that our soul puts in its memory. So let us sing one of the psalms which speaks about the presence of God and about the Torah that is given to us. Because Torah and the voice of God is something that we hear even if we are not able to hear physically at all. This is something much deeper than the senses. It's something metaphysical, something mystical. The voice of the Eternal One kindles flames of fire. 136. מזמור לדוד. הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד יראים. אדוני, אדוני, על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר. כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון. וירכירם כמו עגל לבנון וסיריון, כמו בן ראמים. The voice of the Eternal One kindles flames of fire. The voice of the God convulses the wilderness. The Eternal One convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of God causes hinds to calve and strips forests bare. while in God's temple all say, Glory. The Eternal One sat enthroned at the flood. The Eternal One sits enthroned, sovereign forever. May God grant strength to our people. May God grant our people peace. With this, we come to the most unique and also mystical part of Kabbalat Shabbat. We welcome Shabbat physically and spiritually by opening this door and standing up and greeting it as it befits a queen. And we sing a wonderful, wonderful melody, Lecha Dodi, on the page 138. Please be prepared to stand at the last verse. This is the official liminal point between not Shabbat and Shabbat. Now we can greet each other, looking in each other's eyes, shaking hands, hugging, and saying Shabbat Shalom. Have a peaceful and lovely Shabbat. Let's spend a few moments on that and then return to the places when you hear something that sounds like a music or a text. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise you, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High. 140, let's sing together. Tov lehodot l'Adonai ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון. עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור, כי שימחתני אדוני בפועליך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. How great are your works, eternal one! How very subtle your designs! A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand, and we'll sing it together. This. God is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. Please stand up for Kaddish at the page 144, so that we could begin the central part of the service. And we have a special Kaddish singer, Rory, who will lead us.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה. יעמד יברח ירטה וימליך מלכותה. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בזמן קריב ומר יבורך, ועולם לא מהממיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
This was the call for congregational worship. We may be seated now. Oh God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Oh, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. The first blessing before Shema Israel is on the page 148. Please join me in reciting in Hebrew. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv arabim בחוכמה פותח שערים ובתבונה משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. The second blessing before Shema, talking about love, let's recite it together, as it's the universal language that everybody knows, love, whatever language you speak. So let's recite on the language that we all are very sure about, in English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, eternal our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. Never remove your love from us. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who loves your people Israel. And in Hebrew, the benediction, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. With this, we are preparing to recite the most deep and the most recitable words of all the Judaism. Words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words, which talk much more to our hearts than it is written. Shema Israel, hear, O Israel. It's all about hearing one another. The car approaching from the corner. It's all about the signs that we should be very attentive to. Shema Israel, page 152, we all rise. We close our eyes either with a full palm or with just 3 fingers symbolizing the letter Shin.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננת עם לבניך ודיברת בעם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Now I would ask you to recite the second section of the Shema, the Eternal One said to Moses, in English, and I will conclude in Hebrew from the words Leman Tizkeru on page 155. The Eternal One said to Moses, speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to a fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all God's commandments and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes in your lustful urge.
למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Now we may be seated. Let's read responsively on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages,
Time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Let us now split into two parts, as the sea was split, by being seated, and learn a new tune that you maybe know, so you don't have to learn. It's very easy, but it kind of reflects the idea of what happened at the cross, at the parting of the Sea of Reeds. Let the Ian be in the dividing section, and to the left side from on my left arm, you will start and you will respond. And then we'll change, and to whom I look, that part sings. Okay, let's try. But nothing will work if you won't clap your hands. Let's try. It should be like this. Right. More synchronously, and we will definitely win. It goes like Micha mocha ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha ba'elim, nedar ba'kodesh, Micha mocha ba'elim, ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha ba'elim, nedar ba'kodesh, Noram, Nora tehilot osem, osef ele Noram, Nora tehilot osef ele, Noram, Nora tehilot osem, osef ele Noram, Nora tehilot osef ele. It happened. It definitely happened then. We didn't know. We didn't have any chords or a note sheet prepared for us then. And we all sang. We don't know which melody. We definitely know that there are many of them. But this one, probably was not the one, and it's a more modern one. Probably they didn't even had the well-tempered clavier, and all these notes were not so much in order. But the text was the same. And it says, "Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God," they cried. "The Eternal One will reign forever and ever." ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Amen. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Let's sing together 160. It's not the tempo, it's the page. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום
Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה, אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. And the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat as a covenant throughout the ages for all time. We proceed with tefillah, with a standing prayer, with a prayer which is the prayer. This is the moment when we speak not so much about ourselves or not about God, but with God. This requires the element of sanctity. This requires the minyan, us being together. And we stand up, we make 3 symbolic steps back and then forward, thus cleaning the sacred space where we as a community and each separately can be present before the God. 164, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'Elohei imateinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah.
האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל,
וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריע השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשדי עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished, and all there arrayed. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God has been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that had been done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God ceased from making all the work of creation. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, וחצב במנחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך, סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בשבתך, ותראה ליבנו לעובדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Find favor, eternal our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך, אל קרוב לכל קורב, פנה אל עבדיך וחוננו, שפוך רוחך עלינו, ותחזן עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר שכינתו לציון. Whose mercies never end, a compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, will forever put our hope in you. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד, וכל החיים יודוך סלע, יעללו את שמך באמת. האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael, Amcha tasim leolam, Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol השלום וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Amen.
You may be seated if you want. Such a deep and spiritual prayer tonight. Let's spend a few moments in silence because it speaks sometimes much more.
Just a week ago, at the South African Union Progressive Judaism Biennial in Cape Town, I had the honor of participating in a gathering that epitomized the values of justice and equality we cherish so much in the progressive Judaism. We welcomed Shabbat together, men and women, grandchildren and their grandparents, celebrates our shared tradition and the bonds that unite us. Despite coming from different regions, we somehow prayed to the same melodies and celebrated our Judaism, reveling in what brings us together. We shared successes, experiences, and hopes. We discussed Israel and the contemporary challenges facing Judaism and reflected on their impact on our movement and on each of us. This year's assembly was dedicated to cultivating connections, with our Shabbat and Sunday roundtables focusing on the values that unite us together as the progressive movement. And we were discussing how to strengthen our connection and implement these values both in South Africa and globally. And this unique sense of unity and shared faith was palpable, and it was so hard to imagine that it wasn't always so. One of the major achievements throughout the ages of progressive Judaism, progressive movements, has been the establishment of equality between men and women in religious practices. We were pioneers in this regard, advocating for the inclusion and equal participation of women in Jewish ritual and leadership. This is the progressive value, the value of progressive Judaism in South Africa that we are proud to uphold in the whole world. Primarily, this is the right of Jewish women to publicly and equally celebrate their Judaism, to approach the Torah scroll and to fulfill mitzvot. It is the right of Jewish girls to celebrate Bat Mitzvah just as vividly as Jewish boys celebrate their event, their coming of age of responsibility. Women in progressive Judaism are counted as the part of the minyan in prayer and ritual practices. They can study to become rabbis, to lead their communities and nation on equal footing with Jewish men. However, being the first to champion such a cause is never simple. It involves long-held traditions, facing resistance and navigating complex societal dynamics. The early proponents of egalitarianism within our movement faced significant opposition. Many traditionalists resisted the idea of women participating in Jewish ritual at all, because this place was historically reserved by men. There were heated debates, community divisions, and even personal attacks on those advocating for change. Yet, the perseverance of these pioneers eventually led to significant milestones. For instance, Regina Jonas, ordained in 1935 in Germany, was the first woman to become a rabbi, albeit in the progressive movement. Her ordination was a radical step that paved the way for the others. Decades later, in 1972, Sally Priesand became the first woman to be ordained as a rabbi in the United States, marking a significant achievement of the Reform movement. The story of the daughters of Tzelofchad that we are reading in our current Torah portion, Pinchas, is very much about this. It reflects a similar struggle for justice and equality. Tzelofchad, from the tribe of Menashe, passed away without leaving a male heir. In a time when inheritance laws favored sons, his 5 daughters, Machla, Noah, Hogla, Milka, and Tzira, faced the prospect of losing their family's legacy and land. Unwilling to accept the injustice, they took a courageous step. They approached Moses, the leader of the nation, and Eleazar, the priest, the chieftains, and the entire assembly at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and they declared, "Our father died in the wilderness. He was not of one of the faction, Korach's faction, which banded together against Hashem, but died for his own sin. And he has left no sons. Let not our father's name be lost to his clan just because he had no son. Give us a holding among our father's kinsmen." This moment is remarkable not just for the boldness of the daughter's claim, but for the response it elicited. Moses brought their case before God. There was no such law how to treat this situation. And God affirmed their claim, stating, "The plea of Zelophehad's daughters is just. You should give them a hereditary holding among their father's kinsmen, transfer their father's share to them." This divine endorsement was a revolutionary step towards gender equality, setting a nice precedent that reverberates throughout our tradition until today, for many, many centuries, millennia. Reflecting on the bravery of the daughters of Zelophehad, we see parallels in modern acts of courage for the sake of justice. Consider many cases advocates for girls' education in Pakistan, Malala Yousafzai. Her bravery has inspired a global movement. Recently, we were talking about the bravery of those who rebelled to the existing system of education here in South Africa and achieved a nice change. We remember Greta Thunberg with her climate claims, and nobody understood what is this girl and how she can at all change anything. But now she has a global movement that supports her and supports the climate. These contemporary examples we also have in South Africa. Nelson Mandela and anti-apartheid activists who faced imprisonment and violence bravely stood against systematic racism and injustice. And their relentless pursuit of equality and justice transformed South Africa to the better and inspired the world. The women of 1956 Women's March to the Union buildings in Pretoria, protesting against the past laws, demonstrated extraordinary courage. Their stand for freedom and equality resonates with the bravery that we see in our Torah portion. The daughters of Zelophehad remind us that to remain relevant in modern realities, we as people and we as Jews and we as a progressive movement, we as Jews at all, the global movement, we must listen carefully to the voices of those whose rights are being infringed upon and amplify those voices for those who cannot speak for themselves. This principle is in the very heart of Judaism. We strive to create a community where every individual, regardless of gender, age, race, sexual orientation, or any other attribute you may think of, can fully participate and celebrate their Jewish identity. Our commitment to equality is not just about recognizing the rights of women, but about fostering a culture where every person's voice is heard and valued. So as we reflect on our life, let us just remember that these values that we were discussing at the round tables are the very first step. We're trying to listen to each other, to find what needs to be adapted, what needs to be changed. And South African Union for Progressive Judaism claimed that soon they will revert all our responses, all our what do you call it? Not the investigations, but yes, all that we've studied and understood, and it will come up with the projects. And there comes our duty as the progressive Jews. We won't achieve this together. It's not the management of that changes. It's the voices, the brave voices of all us around. And we cannot do it without participation of all. By working together, we create a precedent for the future generations and for our grandchildren, let's say. Shabbat Shalom. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the prayer is not the thing that we do 24 hours and it has the beginning and the ending. And just as we began with a funny song, with a funny and still very deep song, Yineh Matov, we continue and we conclude with Aleinu L'Shabech, with our duty is to praise God. We're on the page 587, and I would like to invite today to open the ark for us Stephen Kaplan, in memory of his father, Elias William Kaplan, and his wife.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Eternal God, we face tomorrow with hope made stronger by the vision of your realm, a world where poverty and war are banished, where injustice and hate are gone. Teach us more and more to share the pain of others, to heed your call for justice, to pursue the blessing of peace. Help us, O God, to gain victory over evil, to bring near the day when all the world shall be truly one.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We thank Helen Kaplan and her husband for the honor. And we, in the best, even at the weddings, we have this moment of silence when we remember those who are not with us. In our tradition, it's not the moment of silence and remembrance, it's the moment of saying Kaddish. Kaddish are the words that teach us to understand how great and incomprehensible is God and the world we live in. And it teaches us to understand that death is an integral part of journey. And it also teaches us to remember how to remember. And remembrance is through our good memories of the people, and through what they taught us, and through what they've been to us, and what space is now left in our soul when we've lost them in this world. And we pray, thinking of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own.
And this week from Bet David, we remember Kenneth Lancaster, father of Diane McCall, Mick and Sonia Lehman, parents of Janice, Brenda and Kenny Lehman, fondly remembered by their friends here at Bet David. Sylvia Reichman, mother of Michelle Klippen, Kayla Hahn, mother of Dee Bergman, Ronnie Mayers, uncle of Lisa Diamond, Anna Strauss, mother of Shelva Strauss, Elias William Kaplan, father of Stephen Kaplan, and Henry Saul, remembered by myself. Also remembered by the Schultz family is Ari and Jennifer Schultz, Louis Benjamin, and Pearl and Martin Ferreira. From Bet Menorah in Pretoria, we remember Mavis Karpus, mother of Sandra Worms, and those who passed away recently, Alan Levine, a friend of myself, Sybil Pearlstein, Simcha Bat Yosef Leib, mourned by her children Tessa, Renee, and David, sons and daughter-in-law, her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Elwyn Alderson Smith, lifelong friend of Fiona Capstick, and Ethel Hirschfeld, Esther Bat Yitzchak Vepesi, who passed away at the age of 97, dear friend of Adelaide Reuters. If anybody has a name that they'd like to call out, please do so now, and we'll start at this side. We also remember all those who lost their lives in wars and those who have no one to remember them.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. 598, please join me. Yitkadosh Shmei Rabba, Be'alma divrach chiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'b'yom yichon, u'b'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'b'zman karit v'imru, Amen. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לאלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דן ירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
Please be seated. Thank you to Rabbi Shimon for a lovely service as always, and also to our choir and musicians at our technical desk. Also, a big thank you for everybody who's attended the service, both in person and online. Tomorrow morning, Noah Schultz will be called to the Torah as Bat Mitzvah, and we wish her and her family all good wishes for the day. There's no religion school tomorrow morning, and all learners are requested to attend the main service at 9:30 for Noah's Bat Mitzvah. And for other communal news, please look at your Adkan. We just want to also say a warm welcome this evening to Rory Rutenberg, who was a long-standing member and a soloist in our Bet David choir. Lovely to see you, Rory. Please join us in the foyer after the service with Kiddush, and we conclude the service with Shalom Aleichem
on page 627.
Shalom Aleichem.